I think a lot of people are worried about going viral. I'm mostly concerned about people going postal. That's an old concept, isn't it? If you go postal, then you're not, you are actually helping Amazon, and Amazon's helping the post office till they get those droids up and running and deliver by drone. Drones and droids. It's a robotic society, nobody wants to hire anybody. Disney is starting to pay people $15 an hour now. So can you imagine having you inside of one of those animals and you walk along the park with a goofy head and $15 an hour? Come on, it's not bad. Better than making fries, man. But this is the world that we live in right now. It's a grown-up world in many ways, but still childish. I mean, got the president of the United States with John McCain acting like the Queen did with Princess Di. She didn't like her, and she thought she was not the best image, so she avoided having anything to do with her funeral. And then, of course, the public spoke, and all the outpouring of love and affection and flowers and showing that this is where we were in our emotions. And now at this point, we're showing where we are in our emotions with McCain. And you got the president who's digging in like a little kid in the playground. I'm going to take my marbles and go home. This childishness is in the government. This is what's ridiculous. We never outgrow our need for milk. And some of us are still at 60, 70 years old wanting to breastfeed. If you go back to where you came from, you'd be in a womb. And there isn't any room in the womb for you. Not anymore. You outgrew it. I sit here and I feed ducks every day because they come around and I like them. And I've seen them since they were little goslings and the geese and the little the ducklings. And I give them food. Now they're big, and the mother still has to fight for her meal. But birds of a feather flock together. I heard that in school from the nuns. Speaking of the nuns, see, that's what's missing, is the nuns never got hit on by the priests. Maybe they did, but the nuns and the priests, they can't marry. So that could solve a lot of problems, And even in the gospel, it says that some people are meant to be married and still serve. Others are meant to not serve and be unmarried. This Shapiro is the Attorney General in Pennsylvania. He's a Jewish guy, and he wants to prosecute the Vatican. That's probably not a good thing for someone to cross over that way. It would be like having a black guy go after the Klan in court, the Ku Klux Klan. We all know what's right and wrong. We know it inside. And at this point, when you get a lawyer involved, it's usually about money. It's not really about the issue anymore. And you know what? If we start practicing principles over personalities, we'll be a lot better off. That's how we should elect a president. And even McCain said that, when he was opposite Obama. And he said, Obama's a good man. And they all booed him because it was at his rally. It was at McCain's rally. And he said, yeah, but we're not voting over personalities. You're voting over the principles. We just have party differences. We have differences of how we're going to run the store. That's all this is. But see, we've made an art out of this arguing, and we use it on the radio. Radio just sucks. I mean, they answer phones when everybody else texts. What are you taking a phone call for? Nobody uses the phone. What are you kidding? Everybody over 80 uses the phone. We got to wake up. Wake up to what's going on and not have your mind on Taylor Swift's departure from Sony Records in November and how she's going to make $20 zillion when she's on her own. What the hell is that? I mean, do you go out to dinner with her? Is she your friend? Are you in the family? Do you know her? Have you been to her engagement party? I mean, why are we having this relationship with these people that we don't know and you don't have anything to do with? They're not your friends. These are not your friends. Come on, wake up. They're only people that are in your life that you can be friendly with and courteous and, walk on by, as Dionne Warwick's saying. I got in trouble with her. I introduced her at Carnegie Hall one night in a great concert, and she was pissed off at me because I mentioned about the psychic hotline. She wanted everybody to forget that she was the big maca of that for a couple of years, that she had the psychics all wrapped up, in telling the future. Well, what they didn't tell her is that she wasn't going to be on top forever. And, you know, she's a wonderful artist, had great hits. And, you know, Burt Bacharach, she was his voice. I see it on PBS right now. I see the specials with her. She's a lovely, lovely person. And as a matter of fact, my mother and father had her over for dinner. So I do know her because the Four Seasons with Bob Crew came to my house. We had a tape we were making in Buffalo when I was the #1 jock in the country. And Bob Crew brought the Seasons and Dionne Warwick over to my house for dinner. My mother made homemade macaronis, and Dionne was the first black woman to sit in our house at our dinner table that I could ever recall, because we didn't do that in those days, you know, unfortunately. Plus, I lived earlier on, lived in an all-black neighborhood, which used to be Italian turned black, and I used to get beat up by the kids on the way home because I was the white guy, you know. Hey, listen, you just get what you got, you know, and you deal with your deck. That's it. And you do the best you can, love each other, do for someone else what you want done for yourself. And that's it. That's my morality today. And my ethics. They do go together, hand in glove. And that's what I have to say with a Reynolds Rap.